We have case number 5, a 50-year-old male who is diabetic. He had suffered recent anti-AL MI. At the time, PAMI to LAD was done with high BP support in August 2022. He is having poor LV function. Coronary angiogram reveals 70% lesion in proximal RCA and OM and 90% lesion in mid to distal LAD. His syntax score is 25.5. Today's plan is PCI to OM and RCA lesion under OCT guidance. This is his coronary angiogram. PCI to LAD was done in August 2022. This is lesion in OM. Back to cath lab.
Yes, we are now back live, sir.
Yeah. So, Mauricio Cohen.
Hey.
Yeah. Mauricio, what is going to be your strategy?
So our strategy will be to go first to the left, where we have to engage the left main. We're using an EBU 3.5 from the left snuff box axis. So now we are in the. I think that this catheter may be a little bit too big. Puff there.
Yeah, you can push it.
Yeah, there we go.
Good.
Puff there. Yeah, maybe it. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to keep it that way. There we go.
Excellent. So.
Let's
distal this dorsal radial puncture has been done. You can show that over here.
Yes.
And it is done deliberately because we are going through left radial, and supine pronation is a natural instinct, and patient's hand is pronated and kept very near. So the operator does not have to bend the back.
Okay, let's go AP caudal now. So there's a lesion distally, but I don't think that we are going to. This can be medically treated.
I agree.
So we're going to see the problem is the circumflex. So here we have the problem is the circumflex and the right coronary. So you can see it's a super large marginal that supplies a large territory. So the plan is to stent from the proximal circumflex into the marginal, and we're just going to stent across the. We're going to stent across the distal circumflex. So let's get. So we're going to get. We're going to use a wire. The wire is.
This is a.
It's a Xion blue wire.
No. This is a. Run through extra floppy.
No.
This is a workhorse wire.
He opted for another one.
This is the Xion blue. Xion blue. No, don't move. Don't move it in the back. So here you can see the double curve. I usually use this double curve for the circumflex.
Mauricio, the tip of the guide might be a tad bit in the LAD ostium.
Yes, so we're gonna lift the catheter.
Back
so
when you reach there.
Yeah, when we reach there, we're gonna lift the catheter, and then
you see some calcium also at that OM
there is
ostium.
True. Okay, let's have the torquer closer. So
Very
it's
nice.
going.
Very nice.
Now we have to turn to the other side. Hopefully the wire will turn. Okay, now it's gone. Okay, so once we have that, we can park it in the upper side. It's going to a small branch there.
Right there. All right.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's distal enough there. Yeah, that's distal enough. So now let's we can proceed two ways, and I'm gonna put the vote to the panel if they want me to image first or they want me to just pre-dilate in preparation, and then we can assess the size. But if we pre-dilate, I would probably use a long balloon, like a 25 millimeter balloon by 3.0, and see how the vessel behaves, and then we can image afterwards, or we can image from the beginning. So I'll do whatever the panel suggests, and we have already.
There is one question to the panel. How many of you will wire the small branch or give some attention to small branch? If yes, why? If no, why?
I'm not hearing anything from the panel.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Dr. Khan. I'm just thinking that the small branches doesn't have that much impact on more than 10% myocardium.
How many means how you know what are the percentage of this branch occluding?
Okay, let's get the OCT.
Very less percentage, I think.
It won't occlude because the origin is normal.
Yeah, the ostium is free and also almost.
So this panel is not very the panel is not very cooperative. I asked them what they wanted me to do. If they wanted me to image first or to pre-dilate first. So you guys don't answering me. I don't know why you're not helping me. So I decided.
Mauricio, I will answer, but I'll answer knowing that you always do the opposite of what I suggest. So.
Well, that's my personality. I'm a contrarian by nature.
I would say I will use a non-compliant balloon to see what the lesion is like and image after that. That's what I would do, but you will clearly do something else.
But you know what? You know what the problem is, Rajiv, that you answered too late. We already have an OCT catheter. Just hold it. An OCT catheter there mounted on the wire, so we're gonna go with the OCT. And I'm expecting that you will help me read the OCT, Rajiv. Who else is there in the panel? And then I have a pro by my side. Aman is going to help me read the OCT as well.
Yeah, this is Kasaka speaking. Yes, yeah, pre-PCI image is very important to decide how to treat, right? So we always do the imaging before PCI, right?
No, just pull it. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so we have Kasaka Sensei on the panel. So he's going to help us. So what do I need to do? Are we ready?
Yes.
No. Auto-calibrate?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, very clear image.
Full image.
Let's pull this out.
So you have a clean distal landing zone.
Yes.
Very
that
clean.
is, yeah, almost normal, right?
Yeah, Dr. Akasaka, please, you know, give your.
Here is the stenotic part, right?
Yes.
Some lipidic.
Some lipid, some calcium.
Yes.
I got that.
And healed plaque in some
Yes.
region.
Perfect.
Very diffuse disease, right?
Yes. Yes.
And here is a branch.
Yes, there is calcium.
Yes. Right. And
So size at 3.0?
some calcium, right? Yeah.
Now my question is, with this OCT image, is there is any need for pre-dilatation, or directly we can go with the primary stenting and then go for post-dilatation?
With this OCT image, if you ask me, there is no need for pre-dilation. Only thing is the artery is a bit tortuous.
So the first thing that I'm going to do is pre-dilate because Dr. Tejas here told me to respect the South Asian vessel. So we're going to pre-dilate.
Okay, that's nice.
And because Dr. Rajiv said non-compliant, I'll use a compliant balloon. So let's do, so what's the lesion length that you evaluated there?
Lesion length, yes, is taking lesion length. Yeah, yes, yeah, this is a good area, little in. No, come back.
And what's the size?
Yeah, that portion is an idea, right? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what lesion length do you have there?
2.6 in lumen diameter, therefore
So
2.75, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
2 points. I was going to use a 3.0, but if you say 2.75, Huh?
Yeah, this tau is...
No, 275. Let's use 275 by 25 balloon if you have.
No, 20, we have up to only 20 millimeters.
20 millimeter is good.
But compliant balloon will be up to 15 millimeters. We have only one compliant balloon, that is RURI. We have two non-compliant balloons, NC track and NC emerge.
We can use whatever balloon is fits the size.
So you will have to do some segmental dilatation.
Okay,
because,
perfect.
By and large, we don't get anything more than 20 millimeter.
Okay.
Compliant 15 millimeter.
Okay, that's fine.
RURI, which one? 2.5 or 3?
2.7. Do you have 2.75? No. Okay, let's do 3. Let's do 3. I think the vessel looks like a 3.
So Mauricio?
Yes.
So I want to be controversial here. So you did an OCT before anything else. What could you have seen that would have made a difference in what you're doing next? I mean, you were never going to do atherectomy with this lesion. You're always going to do a balloon. So why do it pre and why not after the balloon?
Because I want to see the reason, well, first because we started moving with OCT and we wanted to be, we wanted to do the academic part, that's one. But if I was doing this case, I would probably, given the fact that the vessel will allow like a virgin evaluation, like OCT in a virgin vessel without instrumenting, so that gives me a better view of what the anatomy is and what I'm dealing with instead of exposing myself to a dissection or to some additional.
No, this doesn't need a flush. Doesn't need a flush.
The question to you is that why you have chosen the compliant rather than a non-compliant? You have
because I want to see how the vessel reacts to the balloon inflation, and I want to see how the vessel and then by principle I usually use non-compliant to post-dilate and compliant to pre-dilate. The balloons are more flexible. And then you can see the waist on the balloon a little bit better when you use compliant. Maybe that's my own personal bias based on nothing, but...
Even after this OCT finding?
Yeah. Okay, so I think that we should be there ready to inflate.
You want to check?
Yeah.
I think it's open.
No.
It's good.
We'll pull back a little bit. Okay, let's go up there. And then this will also help us assess the length of the lesion. Okay.
8.
Yeah. Puff there a little bit. Puff there a little bit. Inflate there.
6, 8.
Perfect.
It's a little bigger.
Okay. Just let's take a picture here.
Yes.
Hang on one sec. Let me just get the guide in.
Some slow flow is then STC changes.
Okay. Let's go up. Let's puff there. Puff a little.
Should I go up?
Yeah. Let's see. There. Go up. Yeah.
6.
So we're going up.
8.
Oh, okay.
9.
So this is, we probably need like a 34 millimeter.
The exact size
and I like,
normal is
yeah.
31, but we can take 34.
Yeah,
but
34.
If you are taking onyx, which size you want? Because onyx
Onyx will grow.
A 3.0 probably. I think it's the same. You don't think so?
Yeah, I think I would go one less. What is here?
2.7. You have 2.75.
Yeah, we have 2.75.
I mean, I'm just a little bit apprehensive to putting such small stents in very proximal vessels.
Believe me, it will give negative residual.
I believe you. Okay, what was the diameter that we assessed in the? Let's take a cine here. Okay, so what was the diameter that we got with the OCT?
2.75, right?
Yes.
So we take 2.75, I think, because we are taking onyx. If you are taking Zions, you can take 3, there is no problem. But with onyx, it will expand. But it's up to you. चिंता ना करो डॉक्टर.
Contrast disappear.
Puffer. Puffer.
Excellent. See, for the beginner, this you have to take care. I mean, a wire should not come out because Mauricio is very experienced. He can rewire. Sometimes, if you have created dissections, it can create problem. And this is one territory which can give acute MR if it occurs.
Yeah, especially because the vessel, the vessel looks so normal that, these are the ones that dissect the worst and then they spiral. Because when you have more atherosclerosis, the plaque will stop the dissection. Okay, so the stent's coming?
Yeah.
So we'll wait here for the stent. So
Mauricio, you say that you will use 3, right?
Yes.
In your population. I say that even 275 is going to give negative residual even proximally.
But look at the size of the guiding catheter and look at the size of the distal marginal.
Yeah.
So now the vessel looks a little bit smaller. Maybe there's a little bit of vasoconstriction, but we're gonna make sure do we have nitro on the table?
Yes.
So we give nitro and then take the final pictures.
Samir, what is your idea?
Yeah, I would, knowing Indian arteries, I think it's better to go less than what your gut instinct is from America. And especially circumflex, it magnifies a little bit too. LAD is the opposite, you can get away with larger diameters.
Oh, you do them in the syringe?
Yeah, it needs to be...
So the young man has better eyes, and then he uses a syringe as a good tool to thread the... Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see, the tip of the guide is okay. So here you have to play with the wire, you have to play with the catheter a little bit. Now I think we're in shape. Let's
in good shape there, looks like.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sometimes you have to advance everything as a block. You advance the guide along with still we need the guide a little bit. Puff there again.
This looks good. This looks good.
This looks good. This looks good. Okay. Let's go up. Let's go up to like 14.
8, 10.
Yeah, look at the size there.
Yeah.
Look at the size.
Right?
14.
Clearly.
Yeah. I have to admit.
Yep.
When in Rome, you do like Romans. When in India, you do like Indians.
This is going to look pretty.
Oh yeah, let me just okay, just a quick puff, quick puff, quick puff. Yes,
True.
that's fine.
That is true.
And actually looks a little bit, oh shit. So here we have, look at how this happens when you do left radial, so the catheter tends to dive in a little bit more. So we're having very, very close control of the guiding catheter. Let's puff there a little bit, scalp.
No, you can push it in actually.
A little more, yeah.
A little bit of,
a little bit, yeah, there.
there we go. Okay, let's take a good injection here.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Even a negative residual, right?
So for the panel we can yeah. So let's give nitro and let's do an OCT and see how the vessel look like at the end. Hopefully this time we're not going to pull the wire, right? Come on. Hang on 1 second. Perfect. Blood pressure is good. No chest pain.
No.
તમે કેમ છો બરાબર છો ને ભાઈ ચિંતા નહીં રિલેક્સ
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that will be better.
Perfect. Puff there. See if we're engaged. No.
It's maybe counterclock a little or something.
Perfect. There. Scout there. Okay.
That fits. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We get an Academy Award for this one. So let's OCT.
Distal is 105% and proximally at least 95.
It's true.
Yeah, no, it looks beautiful.
So Mauricio, what questions
I'm
are we
learning
asking
here, I'm
the
learning
OCT?
here.
What are we going to ask the
So,
OCT to answer for us?
I think the obvious question is whether or not we have good stent apposition.
Yep. Apposition, expansion.
And expansion. I'm sure we're gonna have both in this case because the vessel was a very hospitable a vessel, so and was a friendly vessel for this. So, but it's good that we at least can
confirm it. Yeah,
confirm
no,
that.
it's
Yeah.
definitely a good idea.
Mauricio, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
Maybe
Rajiv.
Dr. Akasaka, if you look at the literature, and Dr. Akasaka, you've written there's many definitions of stent expansion. What's your preferred definition of stent expansion? Prospectively
can I have more
before we
slack?
do this study here.
Yeah,
slack.
yes. I think if
Bringing
yes,
the machine forward.
Okay.
percent diameter stenosis is more
There-
than
there we
yes,
are. We're in good shape
90% expansion. I agree, yes, but it depends on the case. If there are some eccentric calcium plaque, 80% should be
No, but
acceptable,
when I get
right? And also the length of the stent is very
otherwise you
important.
won't get
If
good
there are some
contrast, right?
big branch, we always think about the sudden change of the diameter after branching, right? That is no branch, yes. So I think this is, we can yes, measure in this case from the distal reference to the proximal reference. Wow.
Not good, huh? Because the catheter is
Yeah, the guide is
the
sitting
guiding
outside.
catheter is not well engaged.
Yeah, it'll automatically.
Up there? No, I did, but
I
it's
think
not.
you'll have to torque it a little bit.
Up there again?
Yeah.
No?
It should be bad. Yeah. I think you
Yeah,
could
this is in.
Up there? No, it's not in.
torque it.
You see, it's a little.
It's sprinkling, yeah.
I mean, we can stop here and then move on. I mean, up there, man.
A little further in.
Yeah.
And there.
This is
That
better.
probably
there?
will opacify it.
Yeah.
that'll
Okay.
opacify.
This is good.
That'll
Okay.
opacify.
Let's. Ready?
Yeah.
Enable pullback.
It will come. Inject. It's a beautiful picture.
Yeah, that was a nice picture. Okay.
Good image, right? Yeah, here is a landing zone, distal landing, perfect, no dissection, and expansion is acceptable, I think. It's a 70% by the auto calculation, right?
Dr. Akasaka, don't you think that because of the tortuous vessel,
Yes,
these expansion software sometimes get confused?
That's right.
Maybe.
That's right. We already discussed about the vessel. Yes. If the tortuous condition, sometimes vessel is not perfectly circular. Sometimes yes, oval looks like, right. So. Yeah.
Perfect. So I think we are in good shape here to stop.
Yes.
And the position indicator demonstrate almost perfect, yes, position, right?
Okay. So we can. Do you want to use? Do you want to cross with the wire back in so we don't have to navigate? Hmm?
So you're doing the right next, right?
Yeah.
We'll use a
Okay.
stiff wire to exchange this
Yes.
Right has an anomalous origin and
Okay, let's see,
downsloping
where's-
origin
We can just
and has a very long
Hmm?
lesion.
exchange it. So I'll remove the Y connector.
Okay.
Then I will insert the exchange wire.
Yeah.
Exchange wire.
Do we have the angiogram of the right that we can show?
They already showed, but
Right.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
J-tip exchange wire.
Yeah, the 035 wire. Okay, perfect.
You'll take GR now.
So
we
guide
can
wise,
take
yeah,
the
Mauricio.
AR1.
AR1? Okay,
Yeah,
good,
let's do
good.
an AR1. Yeah. We're going to use the same wire, so save the wire we just used, and I think that the tip should be okay. Go ahead and flush. So we're using again the combo technique as taught by Professor Patel.
So Mauricio, let me ask you a question about approaching this right coronary artery, the difference between the right radial and the left radial approach.
So so you have actually a little bit less support going from left radial when you go for the right. I usually when I go from the right, I have better support on the contralateral wall when I go from the right side. If we were going through the you're holding it. Okay. So if we were going through the
You go to LAO.
yeah, let's go to LAO.
left radial approach and right cannulation, again for the beginner, there is one word of caution that the catheter will have a tendency to dive very quickly inside the right, particularly with its downsloping, and that is the reason why Mauricio has selected AR1. And one has to be careful, even otherwise with right Judkins, when you are right Judkins, when you are cannulating from the left radial, it has a tendency to dive deep in, and sometimes it can dissect. Beautiful.
So that's the elegance of Miami in cannulating the vessel.
I think the catheter is behaving, properly.
Okay, let's have the same wire that we used before. Let's take an angiogram first, so we know exactly what we're doing. Let's put a little bit of cranial. Let's put 20 of cranial or 15 of cranial.
Watch your leg.
Yes. Okay, and let's lower the image. Let's lower the flat panel a little bit more. Okay, perfect. Let's see where we are. Okay, let's center. Okay, beautiful. Okay. Now it doesn't look as bad as it looked in the. Let's take an RAO view.
RAO.
It's diffusely diseased, but
Rajiv, as an operator, me and Sanjay both have tendency, to presume or predict what is going to be the lesion character on OCT when we do an angiogram.
I think it's significant, yeah.
Yes, it is significant, but it looks to me like fibrotic lesion. It's a fibrotic.
So we can proceed Tejas, if the panel agrees, we can proceed in the same way as before. We can wire, and then let's go back to LAO. LAO with a little bit of cranial.
Are you going to image it first, Mauricio?
I think so.
Good.
What do you guys think?
I think it'll help define a lot of things.
So let me ask you, Tejas and Dr. Akasaka, how often are you completely wrong? Because it may be that you're right. Maybe you've learned so much from doing the imaging that you need to do less now.
To start with, at least for me, I was wrong for almost 60-70%, but gradually the track record is improving, and now maybe around 25% time or 20% time.
I think that's a big lesson that even after all this experience, you could be wrong 1 out of 4 times. So always better to do it rather than not.
Okay, so we have plenty of wire.
Small branch now.
Yeah, we have. We'll pull it a little bit. So we have plenty of wire there in the coronary. So let's get the. Let's go.
OCT?
Yeah, let's get the OCT. Let's.
So let me ask you prospectively, if there's not much calcium, are you going to direct stent this?
It could be fibrocalcific block, huh, Rajiv?
Yeah, and then the other thing that, in the other case, the balloon also, a friend of mine used to say that he likes to explore lesions with the balloon. In the way how the lesion behaves, the lesion length, the size of the vessel. Although we are kind of cheating because we're doing OCT.
I was being provocative. I completely agree, Mauricio. I think there's no downside in
pre-dilating, right?
Yeah.
Because you can always regret. Not pre-dilating, but unless you cause a massive dissection with a misjudgment of the size of the balloon.
And normal to normal segment, the length should be around 48 millimeters. So it's not a good idea to give a direct stent, particularly in anomalous origin and such a long lesion.
I agree with that completely.
Just be careful.
Okay, so I think that we're in good shape there to scout a little bit.
Yes, please.
You might want to come back a little. Yeah. Come back a little bit. Yeah.
There, right? That's the right size. Okay.
Pressure is good. Yep.
Pressure is good. Everything is good. Okay. Are we ready?
Yes, automatic. Sometimes machine miss to the timing of the pullback, right? So if you have a good technician, right, besides you, manual should be the best. I think the timing is very important, and also collaboration with an operator and technician is very important. If you work with every day, right, you could get a good communication, right, without any word, right.
And it looks like the distance between the two OCT markers there is 50 millimeters, so a 48 millimeter stent seems, as a crude assessment, seems about right.
And there is calcium and lot of fibrosis, some area of TCFA and little bit of fat. So it's a mixed plaque, yeah.
Yes.
A lot of fibrosis, lot of calcium,
yes,
and TCFA, yeah.
Yeah. Look at how how.
Yeah.
Okay, and the proximal vessel is about what, 3? It's the same, similar size as. Can we show the previous pictures, the angiogram?
Here, I think the proximal landing is vital. There is a TCFA, we have to avoid that. Come more proximally. Come more proximally. No, yeah. No, still. No.
No, that's artifact there.
No, go in. This looks reasonable.
Yeah.
Dr. Akasaka, what do you think?
Yes. Compared with other portion, that is much better, right?
No, not this. Go in.
More distally.
Still.
Yeah. There. I think that's a good landing zone.
No, there is,
fibrous plaque in the
and
3 o'clock and a little bit lipidic in the 10 o'clock, right?
Yeah. This looks.
I think we can pre-dilate with the same balloon, the 3O balloon that we used before.
Yeah, you can do that. Meanwhile, we will decide the landing zone. This is okay.
Yeah.
And you don't have TCFA. There is some fat.
Perfect.
Little, yeah. And go distally. Fix karine length आपने.
So this is going to be also a long. So what's the difference? What's the distance you have there? 43.
Yeah, that
so we can use one of the 48 millimeter stents.
Yeah,
that
we are going to use Synergy 48 in this case.
That will be a good. This is going to be a good case. So we can pre-dilate with the same balloon. How we settle on the diameter of the vessel?
Distal is around 2.5. So let us see proximal. So there is a good amount of it is 3.4. synergy has a good, property of differential expansion, I think. So you can go at around, you can take 3, go at around 10 or 11 or 12, and then you can pull it back and go to 20 and
exactly.
you are done.
Exactly. That sounds like a good plan. Let's pull this out.
It's also a long lesion, so.
And even if for this anomalous origin of RCA, so whether you will consider for a body wearing even after ballooning, that will help a lot for you.
Can I ask you, Dr. Akasaka, in what circumstances do you not trust the automatic measurements that machine makes?
Yes, if the vessel is very tortuous, sometimes the beam is not perpendicular to the vessel.
The balloon that we used before.
At that time, we cannot get a circular image, right? So at that time, it might be better to believe the shorter, yes.
3 by short balloon.
3 over
diameter, right? Not a longer one.
Yes, we are.
Because the vessel is not
3 over
always
15,
straight, sometimes tortuous, right?
So then you yourself will then pick certain cuts and do manual measurements?
Yes, I believe basically the automatic measurement, but it is very important to pay attention to the vessel shape and also the tortuosity, right? And when you put the cursor to that portion, if it is perpendicular to the vessel, it might be correct. Yeah.
And if you can't identify the media or the EEL, you use luminal measurements?
Yes. If we try to use vessel measurement, the lumen measurement, we try to select the quarter size bigger, and if we can measure the vessel area EEL, we can reduce the quarter size. Yes.
And Dr. Akasaka, when the lumen is not circular, do you average the shorter and the longer diameter?
Let's go up there.
It's a very important question and very difficult to answer correctly, but we have to check the vessel condition, right? The tortuosity is the problem. If it is tortuous and the beam is not perpendicular, sometimes imaging overestimate, right? So at that time, if there are a completely normal portion and the looks overview looks like, and so at that time I try to measure the shorter axis, right? That might be the correct. If we using longer diameter, it may mistake.
Do you think in RCA it overestimates OCT?
No,
it's a tortuous. It's not very perpendicular.
Not so tortuous. I think LED with hypertension sometimes very tortuous, right?
There. So is it safe to say that when in doubt, use the shorter diameter?
8, 10.
Yeah, go to 14.
14?
But we have to confirm, moving slightly proximal and distal, and then finally we decide, right?
Because shorter diameter, Samir, I feel that you can expand it.
I think we dissected a little bit.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I think we're done with pre-dilation. So let's get that. So what do you suggest for the stent diameter? So we settled on the length of 48.
Mauricio, this is India. The stent has legs. It has already walked in. 3 by 48.
3 by 48. That sounds good.
It might be deployed if you.
I mean, every time.
So Tejas and Samir, let me ask you from the radial standpoint, so the right radial is occluded, so you're now dorsal left. What different strategy are you going to use to make sure this left radial dorsal stays open?
For that, we can Samir can show you this double, compression hemostasis. Once it is over, we will keep live till when we go there. Get one vasoband.
This is dorsal radial.
No, this is dorsal radial. So we can. Next case, Samir will show that in his case. Yeah. Otherwise, this is dorsal radial. So radial should remain protected because radial occlusion whatever maybe literature say, but I personally feel, Rajiv, that it is the puncture site which is the major nidus to create radial occlusion. And if you have punctured dorsal radial, even if dorsal radial occludes, most of the time the radial remains open, the regular radial.
Yeah, I think, left radial is almost a sign of radial artery occlusion on the right side. So
both of you then, since you moved to this 15,000 heparin, are you seeing less, fewer radial occlusions?
Actually, our occlusion rates for PCI and diagnostic are the same.
Yeah,
and we use much more heparin for PCI. So I think it's more hemostasis than heparin, in my opinion.
Go to 12.
Heparin is necessary, but hemostasis is the bigger factor that matters.
And then we're gonna,
And simultaneous ulnar compression is almost like a balloon pump for the radial artery. In the balloon angioplasty days, we used to put a balloon pump to keep the lesion open. And here we compress the ulnar to keep the radial open. We'll demonstrate that in the next case or so.
I think we can, let me just pull back on there. Now we can go up to like 20. Yeah.
20, this stent becomes 3.5, so I think it should be a great differential expansion.
So there's an area there that is not expanding.
I think that's an angle, Mauricio.
Yeah, maybe the angle, yeah.
And it expanded with this one a little better. You're right, there might be some restraint, but...
So, well, we have OCT, so we can always can always find out. So let me just go.
And it's very large lumen vessels, so it should be okay, probably.
So we'll wait until the balloon is completely deflated, so you can see here the bubbles coming.
Again, for the beginners, there is one tip. When this type of long balloon of stent you are removing, don't remove directly, push it in first and then pull it back, because sometimes it has a tendency to suck the guide catheter tip inside.
And as you can see, it's sucking it in, so I'm pulling back on the guide, and then as I'm pulling out,
in this case it could
cannulate here a little bit better.
It could.
This is fine.
It could even vertically deform the stent if you hit the stent
true,
with
especially these synergy stents, huh?
Well, all these third generation stents.
It used to happen frequently with Promus element. With synergy again, but I want to discuss this thing again from the panel.
Let's get the OCT.
Stainless steel, which is not used nowadays, cobalt chromium and platinum chromium, these three platforms. What do you think about foreshortening, and what do you think about the radial strength?
I think radial strength of stainless steel was the best, in my opinion. Trackability was not as good, and the worst thing was the thrombogenicity was much higher. And I think that's why, overall, if you ask me to pick, I would pick a cobalt chromium, platinum chromium platform.
Between cobalt chromium and platinum chromium, what do you think?
So, talking to, my interest is physics. So even though I am a cardiologist, I love physics more than cardiology. And talking to metallurgists, platinum chromium is physically stronger than cobalt chromium. But it feels the same in the cath lab.
I personally feel that whenever you want a radial strength, I will go for cobalt chromium, and for trackability or confirmability, I will think of this.
I think it's getting a little bit caught there in the...
The previous stainless steel stents, probably the polymer was also very thrombogenic with cipher and the likes.
The polishing was not as good.
Perfect. Okay.
Ready.
Ready? Inject. Does look pretty good.
Yeah, this is 9 out of 10. Perfect.
You can see that angle very well on OCT.
Yeah. So do you think that there's a little bit of point of constriction there?
I think it's just a swirling die.
Yeah.
Okay, go forward a little bit. Go forward a little bit. Go forward. Go forward a little bit. Inside the vessel. Go to, yeah.
Perfect, perfect.
Keep going forward. Forward, 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 forward. This is, okay, that's a side branch.
Yeah.
And that's area that, you see it looks, do you think it's a little bit under
This is a plaque burden, Mauricio, I think. This is plaque burden. That was the maximum plaque burden at that point.
Yes. Yeah.
And we take the area. Just, it is how much?
5.3.
Human is 5.27. So I think this is good.
So I may post dilate. If I was in I mean, I'll leave it up to you. I would probably post dilate this with a 3.5. Let's get a non-compliant 3.5 balloon.
Quick question for Dr. Akasaka. What is the smallest percentage, MLA you would accept in the post deployment?
It's a very difficult question because in this case also we can identify the very eccentric plaque upper side, right? And then the opposite side is completely normal. If you just focus on only a diameter stenosis, you may have the risk of the vessel rupture, right? Yeah. So it depends. Difficult to say, but as I told you, 80%. If the vessel expansion is 80%, we can accept. Perfect. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 90% it should be ideal, but it's depend on the case. Here, yes, from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock, we have a very thick plaque, and the opposite side is almost normal. Only a small amount of fibrous intima hyperplasia, right?
Sure, absolutely. So 20% is your maximum, quote-unquote under expansion that you would tolerate in a normal circumstance.
Right, generally speaking.
Generally speaking,
yeah. If there are lots of eccentric calcium, sometimes 8% or 77% should be okay. Right.
Dr. Akasaka, Indian arteries at times are extremely negatively remodeled arteries.
Yeah, right.
And it's very difficult even to get 80%, and we have to settle at 60-65%,
No, I think that's okay.
And then we're going to do a more proximal one.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah, come down. And then we're going to do one all the way back.
So I think we lost that knuckle that you had, right?
Yeah, well, no, we're going to see it. We're going to pull back, and that's where I think the knuckle is. There.
Looks good.
Let's see, hang on. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, go up and go to like 14.
14.
Let's do 18.
16, 18.
So you caught that angle there, Mauricio, looks like, right?
Yeah.
You still have a little bit of a knuckle.
a little bit of...
I would leave that be.
Yeah.
Come down?
Yeah, come down. And that's out of respect of the Indian artery.
I think so.
Okay, I don't think we're going to image again. I think we're going to stop here. I think we have a... We're going to pull the wire. We're going to take a... Yeah, we're going to take a couple
pictures. Beautiful. Nice result. Very nice result.
See, none of the branches are also compromised.
That's very good, yeah.
Okay, bring towards. Okay, perfect.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a nice antero-inferior takeoff. They're taken by AR.
That's
Wonderful job.
Fantastic result at both vessels and great learning points with the OCT. Thank you, everyone at Apex and here.